Hello, guys, and welcome to Hatshepsut Economics. Hatshepsut. If you haven't done so already, you probably hear me say this over and over. Please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to get some notifications. So this is a really serious video. There's a lot of videos on YouTube you could be watching, but thank goodness you're watching this one. This is super important. This is like life and death. So what am I talking about life and death? Why? Because you need a place to live. We all need a place to live. So while we waste time online and waste time on social media and have fun on social media, you're entitled to your leisure time. But guys, things are getting very serious for Black people, extremely serious. And what am I talking about? The housing market. And why is it so serious? Because that's a big source of wealth. That's a big source of wealth for most people across all demographics. Real estate is a vital part, not important, vital, absolutely necessary part of anyone's portfolio. And it's getting to the point where if we don't get our act together as a people, if we don't get our act together, I don't care if you want to marry Asian, Indian, white, black, purple, I don't care what you want to do, but you have to invest in real estate, especially for people of color. And the reason why is because you see, we don't have anywhere to hide. Gentrification is coming, and it's coming to a city near you if it haven't came already. And what's happening is that gentrification is going into urban areas that were formerly not desirable and formerly very dense with an urban population, and going into these areas and spiking up the rent, refurbishing it. Looks really nice, but it's not for us. We're completely priced out of the market, completely priced out of the market. So I want you to watch this video. And this is extremely important. This is why I do this channel. This is why I think Hatshepsut Economics is important to the Black community, especially to Black women. This channel is for Black women, and it's because I care. And I know that if you listen to what I'm saying here, if you take some of the information, it can change your life. It can make a difference in your life. This is like, heaven and hell. You definitely have to make a choice. And in the next 10, 20 years, we're going to be lifting up a lot of skirts. And what does that mean? We're going to be showing and revealing the truth. If you're not doing what you have to do as a woman of color, if you're not looking for economics, networking with economics, if you're not looking for a mate that's going to help you, that's going to take you to new heights, that's going to be a partner for you, if you are not investing in real estate, it sounds scary, but it's going to be a problem. You're going to have Negroes in outer space. What do I mean by that? You're going to have nowhere to live. You're going to have literally no land, because in the past, it was okay. We can go to the hood, we can go to the urban centers, we can go to the projects. We had our little areas that was always safe. Those days are gone. And the reason why that's happening is because land is a limited commodity. What did I mean by that? You can't make any more land. And you can only build oh so high, oh so up. So now, after they realize that, they're willing to go into these urban neighborhoods, rebuild them, price them out, and get you out of there. But this is happening all over the United States. I said after a while, you will have Negro satellites. You're going to have Black people orbiting in space. Yo, son, how you get up here, son? Yeah, I ain't pay my land. I ain't pay my house. They got us in orbit. All right, son. I see you around. It's time for me to go around my orbit. It sounds funny, but this is important. This message is important. Make sure your children listen to this. Make sure your son, your daughter listen to this. This message is bigger than me, because I look at the data, I look at the numbers, and there's no more fudging. There's no more softening the landing. There's no more, let me kiss your boo-boo. This is real shit. And if we don't get our act together, if we don't focus on what really matters, you're going to have a lot of Hail Marys. You're going to have a lot of people dying and suffering needlessly. Because if they price out everything from what I'm seeing, because I'm a real estate broker, I have my own firm, and we're looking at urban areas like East New York. We're looking at urban areas like the Bronx. Now, if you're not from, New York, all you need to know is that these are places that weren't even deemed livable a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago, these are places that no one would live except for the people who can't afford to get out of there. Now, they're building luxury high-rises in the middle of the toughest areas. They're building Whole Foods and Starbucks. And we may laugh about it and say, gentrification, but it's not stopping. You will have Negroes in outer space. You will have Negroes who will be orbiting in the sky because they won't be able to afford the very land they walk on. So what's going to happen? So if you watch this video to the end, as you know, I don't bring problems without giving you a solution. That's my dedication to this channel. That's my dedication to my viewers, is that whenever I talk about something, I always talk about solutions, positivity, how we can get there. But first, you need to know the receipts. And first, you need to know the facts. So the facts is you really have to look at economics. You have to get out of the poverty mindset. You have to get out of the I'm poor, born poor, I'm gonna die poor. Those things don't fly anymore. You can do it. I can do it. We can do it. So I want you to just bear with me, get your popcorn, get your tea, get your hot chocolate, and just relax because I'm going to, take you on my hip hop ride, show you my receipts. And by the end of this video, hopefully you will see why it's important for us to have what we have. Okay, so I'm getting comfortable myself right along with you. All right, so this is the first article from the Chicago Tribune, and it says right here, why Black home ownership rates lag even as the housing market recovers. So what that basically means is that the housing market had a huge crash back in 2008, if you guys remember, when the entire financial world imploded because of the subprime mortgage lending. I'm not going to get too technical with it because it's kind of technical, but basically everything imploded and people of color lost a lot of wealth in that. A lot of people lost their homes. But the housing market's recovering and the Black housing market lags. So I just want to show you this video, okay, really quick. It's about 1 minute and 32 seconds. So we're going to look at that video.
But which I just recently purchased about 4 months ago, and I couldn't be happier. I have owned a home, and I still own another home. It's been subleased, and prior to the house being subleased, I lived in an apartment for years, double-digit years, as a matter of fact. But I didn't purchase here in Chicago. This is my first Chicago purchase, and I couldn't be happier because of, again, a great neighborhood, and it's, to me, the perfect house. It's basically move-in ready. All you have to do is just add food for the most part, and there was not much to do at all. And it's almost the setting puts you in a sense of sheer bliss. As I go to and from every day in my travels in the neighborhood here, I see African American ownership in my neighborhood, and I see pride of ownership also. So on a larger spectrum or scale, I wish that the numbers were higher for ownership because it adds so much more responsibility and value to life to be a part of something. And I think home ownership gives you that advantage. So be it the community in which I'm from, predominantly Black, I can only encourage more African American, especially males, to be involved in home ownership.
All right, so that's a brother right there. He bought a house and he's talking about the importance of home ownership. So I just want to say this also. You have to be able to buy a house properly. A house is not an investment until it starts making a return. So if you don't have enough money, don't get a subprime mortgage. Don't get these weird mortgages. Don't get a mortgage that says 30 years. And by the time you finish paying for it, you actually pay 3 times the value of the house. You have to work out a way for your house to turn into a cash machine, a cash cow. That's my next video. And you have to work out a way that you have a sufficient enough amount of down payment. Now, call me crazy. I'm not a big fan of typical mortgages, and I'm a big fan of paying it down as much as you can, at least half the price of the house. I know that sounds ridiculous, but there's ways to do it, because if not, a mortgage can be another debt that you just can't get out of. And it's a debt that's not made to work in your favor. It is very sensitive towards the banks. It's not pro-customer. It's not a great financial product that I believe really embellishes the rights and the progress of the customers to pay. So as a real estate broker, I'm just telling you, that's not something that I'm crazy about, because I read these financial products and they have so much red line that is just all for the banks. So if you're buying a house, it's something else with another video, but definitely make sure that you're buying it and it's actually going to be an investment and another debt, because until that house is paid, you don't own anything. The bank own it. And if you don't believe me, miss a payment. Uncle Sam will be like, yuck, 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 and they come in and take your house. So I just want to read this article really quick. All right. So it says a decade after the housing crash destroyed the American dream for millions of homeowners, Black home ownership rates have dropped to levels not seen since the 1960s, hobbling African Americans' efforts to build their wealth. Nationally, only 42% of Black-owned houses in 2006, compared with 71% of whites, according to a new report by Harvard University Joint Center for Housing Studies. So basically, what does that mean? Nationally, only 42% of Blacks own homes in 2016, compared with 71%. And again, this goes back to economics. This goes back to, marrying and building together. This goes back to broken homes can't buy homes. Okay, broken homes can't buy homes. And that's why marriage is imperative. You can actually see the correlation between the broken homes and the broken economics in the Black neighborhoods. It's startling. So that's why it's really important to know the facts and make decisions based on the facts and stick to the facts. So I'm going to continue down here. And in Chicago, the gap between Black and white home ownership rates is even more extreme. So in Chicago, it's more extreme. Only 38.9% of African Americans own homes in Chicago area in 2015, compared with 74% of whites. So that is ridiculous. So in Chicago, 38% of African Americans own homes. And in Chicago, 74% of whites own homes. That's a massive contrast, guys. And the reason why it's terrifying is because home ownership equals what? Home ownership equals what? It equals wealth. Guys, this is really important. This is not a bullshit. This is not for you to list to list. This is life or death. And I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you from the heart, if you guys don't change, man or woman, I don't care, whatever you are, if you guys don't change in 10 to 15 years, this economic tsunami is going to hit you like a ton of bricks. Stop wasting your time online. Stop bullshitting online. Start making money. I have a Hatshepsut Life page where I give life coaching to Black women, where I'm actually encouraging entrepreneurs. I'm helping Black women open up stores. I'm helping Black women get into Ivy Leagues. I'm helping Black women go into real estate school. I'm helping Black women do so many things. If you are serious about your success, I have the avenue to network and give you the information you need, but you have to take that step. And if you're interested in that page, let me know. It's in the description box. $10 to join, $10 a month. This is not a joke anymore. This is what matters. This is what's real. This is what's going to affect you for the rest of your life, whether you're a homeowner or not. We waste so much time on the internet. We really do. Doing crazy, frivolous things, and we don't care. And people are getting money around us. People are rising around us. People are making money out of nothing around us. And yet we're so confused as to why we are where we are. I'm successful. I'm not special. What I'm doing, anyone could do. And that's why I'm trying to give you this information. I hope you share this with your son. You share this with your daughter. This is not a joke. In 10 to 15 years, you won't even be able to afford rent. Like I said, you're going to have Negroes in outer space. You're going to have Negro Jupiter and Negro Neptune and Negro Pluto and Negro Saturn. You can laugh. Y'all going to be orbiting. Y'all going to be going around the earth 365 days because ain't nobody going to give you a place to live. The hood is not there no more. They coming for the hood. Land is a precious commodity. Land is a precious commodity. Land is a precious commodity. They realize that. They ain't got no more land to build. They go come back and grab the stuff that's ours. And it's not even ours if we're not owning it, and you can own it. By the end of this video, you're going to see the solutions, but I got to give you the receipts. I got to give you the facts. So this is what's real, guys. This is why I do this channel. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than, what I like. It's truly going to impact people if people take the information and utilize it. So let's continue. And in Chicago, the gap between Black and white home ownership rates is even more extreme. Only 38.9% of African American owned homes in Chicago area in 2015, compared with 74% of whites. Before the housing crash, almost half of African Americans in Chicago area own homes, according to Harvard's research. Latinos in Chicago area also lag when it comes to home ownership. Only 50% of Latino own homes. So Latinos, even though they're low, they own more homes than African Americans in Chicago. See, right here, 50.5. Black people are 38.9, and white people are 74%. No one can here argue that Latinos and Blacks have similar economic resources. They do, or probably even less because they have a language barrier for some of them. But what Latinos have are higher marriage rates and fewer broken homes. It does matter, guys. It does matter. So right here, it says home ownership rates by race. So this is for Chicago metro area. All right, so white people, 78 1 point, Latino 55. African Americans have lower than Latinos in 2005. Let's go over to 2010. White people have 76.6 in 2010. Latinos have 54.3 in 2010, and African Americans have 40.5 in 2010. In 2015, white people dropped a little bit, but they're at 74%. Latinos are at 50%. They dropped as well, but no one dropped like black people. They're at 38.9%. All right. And this information comes from Associated Press analysis of the United States Census Bureau. As you know, I always get my facts from the most rigid and neutral sources. So what do you think is happening? Okay, now I'm going to continue reading the article real quick for you guys. Home ownership is a way for people to generate stability and wealth and not just go to work every day. Neighborhood Plan Director for Neighborhood Housing Service Chicago. All right. In addition, home ownership can change the trajectory of neighborhoods. Without homes, Blacks lack a powerful source of wealth creation. I'm going to say it again. Without homes, Blacks lack a powerful source of wealth creation. Okay? Homeowners generally build equity that allows them to eventually buy other homes, like I did, or businesses, and send children to college. Homes are also passed to younger generations upon death, allowing future generations to build wealth. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if that is not there, it's a massive setback, it's a massive gap. So listen to this. Because whites are far more able to give inheritance or family assistance for down payments due to historical wealth accumulation, white families buy homes and start acquiring equity at an average 8 years earlier. So white people start acquiring homes and equity and buying homes 8 years earlier than black families. 8 years earlier. That is ridiculous. The research found that home ownership is the single largest predictor of wealth among races. I'm going to say it again. The research found that home ownership is the single largest predictor of wealth, no matter what the race is. Okay? After decades of making gains, the most recent nationwide African American home ownership rate was at the lowest it's been since the Fair Housing Act of 1968 began tackling discriminatory housing practices. Historically, home ownership has been 28% higher among whites than blacks, but the racial gap in ownership is not the largest since data became available in 1940. Prospects for black home ownership have gone from hopeful to pessimistic in only 15 years. Harvard researchers attribute much of the plunge in African American home ownership to predatory lending practices that saddle buyers in poor minority neighborhoods with more debt than they can afford. That's pretty bad. That's why I told you I don't believe in the mortgages, son. Like I said, I'm very let's pause. I'm very neutral. If you're hustling, even if it's not the legitimate thing, if you're putting that money into something real, I'll look the other way. But y'all hustling and y'all buying all kinds of crap and y'all ain't buying that house. And you get a mortgage, you see what they doing to us in the mortgage? Harvard researchers attributes much of the plunge in African American ownership to predatory lending practices that saddled buyers in poor and minority neighborhoods with more debt they can afford. That's why I'm not big on them crazy mortgages. Anybody asks about a mortgage, I need to read it, see it, touch it, taste it, feel it, and I might run it by a real estate lawyer. That's how crazy, because most of these financial products are not for you. So anyway, let's continue. Yeah, they found that low-income lending was especially prevalent in Chicago's South Side in the years preceding the housing crash. As a result, those communities hit hard by housing crash and foreclosures that ensued. Credit scores damaged by foreclosures and short sales kept people from bargain hunting in the wake of the housing crash, even though prices were low. Okay, even people with good credit struggled to get mortgages as lenders focused on borrowers with pristine credit. So as house buying has picked up among whites, Asian, Hispanics since the crash, African American ownership has fallen. High rents also are keeping some from home ownership. As demand for rental housing has climbed, rents have surged the last few years, making it hard for many to pull enough funds for a down payment. According to research by Institute for Housing Studies at DePaul University, percent of renters in Cook County are paying more than what is considered manageable, or more than 30% of their income. Various programs are trying to encourage home ownership in Chicago by rehabbing the dilapidated houses and taking other steps to stabilize the neighborhood. So this is serious. This is serious. This is and it's tough because you just can't encourage somebody to become a homeowner. The person has to have a certain economic basis. I don't believe in giving homes to people who don't have money. I'm going to say it again. I don't believe in giving homes to people who don't have money. You're doing them a disservice. One missed payment, you'll lose your house. One illness, you'll lose your house. If you get fired, you'll lose your house. You need to give homes to people that have equity on their own. You need to give homes to people that have wealth on their own, people that have several jobs on their own. And that's what my page is about. You can't buy a home without a diversified background. You're living on a tight wire. You're walking on a wire. So let's continue right here. Why gentrification matters. And somebody says, so what's wrong with gentrification and why should we care? Okay, so you see this brownstone. All right, so we're going to talk about gentrification. And I'm going to keep it mad real with you. You don't own your neighborhood. You just don't. And the reason why people have let you live in the neighborhoods they own and make you call it a black neighborhood is because it was a ghetto. It wasn't seen as desirable. They never thought in their wildest dreams that people who would be willing to live there would pay 5, 10 times the amount and probably keep it in better condition, probably not pee in the elevators and shit on the sidewalks and let their dog shit on the sidewalk. I'm not taking shots, but I grew up from the hood. I'm from Bushwick. I used to live in Bushwick, in Brooklyn, in Bed-Stuy. I grew up in the heart of the hood, East New York. My zip code was 11207. I used to walk past East New York Broadway Junction to go to my school, Our Lady of Lourdes, my Catholic school that I think is turning into luxury high-rise now. That was a long time ago. So you might be saying, what's going on? Guys, they don't care. That's what's going on. If you owned 17 houses in Harlem, in a bad neighborhood, and people are only paying you $500 a month for rent, let's just say that. But all of a sudden, you got a bunch of hipsters who are willing to move into that neighborhood and pay $3,000 for one bedroom. As a business person, let's keep it real. I want all y'all to keep it real right now. Why would you continue renting it to people that, number one, bring down the property value because of the violence and the crime? Number two, don't take good care of the property. The property is probably in bad condition. And number three, they're not looking to purchase it from you. No one's stopping black people from purchasing these properties before the price got astronomical. No one's stopping it. But the thing is that we keep thinking this fairy tale is never going to end. The hood, the romance with the hood, the romance with the projects, the romance with the tough areas. That romance is over, son. She broke up with you. She's dating the baller. And you guys have to wake up. You gotta wake up. You have to look for ways to get that money. It is out there. People are doing it. As I'm talking to you, someone's getting rich. People are doing it. And that's why I made that page, man. I made that page for you guys. Hatshepsut Economics. Hatshepsut Life is for personal coaching. It's a paid private page. All I ask is $10 a month, $10 to join. And you can ask questions. You could be around like-minded black women. You can get that money, secure your future. This is real shit. No one's going to tell you this. People are going to tell you about Khloe Kardashian. People are going to tell you about Kim Kardashian. People are going to tell you about Barbie and Ken. People are going to tell you about, all the stars. They fine. Kanye fine. Kim Kardashian is fine. They don't care about you. Jay-Z, Beyonce, they fine. This is what you need to be listening to. All right, guys, let me go to the next page. So now they talk about affluent blacks are still trapped by segregation. So it's so bad, okay, that they don't even want black people to live in affluent areas because they think that black people bring down property value. So even when you have money, they still push you to poor areas. I've experienced that where I had to tell the realtor, what is wrong with you? So look at this. Where black and white families earning $100,000 or more live a year. So in the United States, okay, if a black person makes $100,000 more a year, they still live in poor areas. If a white person makes $100,000 or more a year, look at that. So 37% of blacks live in poor areas. 9% of whites live in poor areas. Okay? 22% of blacks live in affluent areas, while 47% of white live in affluent areas. So in Milwaukee, 59% of blacks live in poor areas. So it doesn't mean they're poor. It means no matter what, $100,000 or more, they're living in these areas, while 17%. And whites, only 6% of them live in the poor areas, while the rest of them, 57%, live in the affluent areas. And the reason why this is important is because to continue building wealth, you need to network. To continue building worth, you need to diversify. You need to diversify your portfolio, diversify what you're doing to get that money. And if you don't do that, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. So I need you to need me to listen to me and really take this education in. But like I said, I always bring solutions. You guys know I do my research for you. Don't despair. But like I said, before we get to the solutions, you got to know the receipts. So let's go to the next page. All right. Let me get this ad off. I apologize for that ad. All right. So now they're saying, could gentrification save cities? So you had some cities that were really torn down. You had some cities that were really destroyed, not getting any government funding, not getting any school funding, schools closing around. So they're basically saying, look, areas that were unlivable or not economically savvy are now doing great. But guess what? We're not a part of it. People of color are not a part of it. So I disagree with that statement. Like, yeah, your neighborhood's doing better, but it has no black people. So we have to do more. And I believe it starts with raising awareness. I believe it starts with, ringing the alarm. A lot of black people will say, oh, rent is expensive. It's only going to get astronomically worse. And I'm really concerned where we're going to go. I keep saying it. Negroes in space. Y'all going to be floating. Like, hey, what up, Saturn? Yo, what up, June? What up, Jupiter? What up, Jupe? What up? You're going to be in outer space, floating around. And this is a real message. Negroes in outer space. Gentrification, nowhere to live. Negroes in outer space. Let's go to the next one. Okay? So now, this is a crazy one. This is going to show you all the cities that are let me just get rid of the volume because I don't need volume from here. I don't know why the commercials be wilding out. But these are all the cities that are crazy. So the U.S. cities that are gentrifying the fastest, and you'll never guess number one. So these are cities that are across New York. So it's not New York, sorry, across America. All right. So the top cities gentrifying the fastest. Number one is Charleston, South Carolina. Son, that's where we used to run to get away from rent. Look at that. Another southern state, Nashville, Tennessee. Asheville, North Carolina. You got 3 places in the South that are gentrifying. You guys are going to have nowhere to go. You got Washington, D.C. You got Jersey City, hood-ass Jersey City. You got Austin, Texas, another southern state that used to be safe. You got Denver, Colorado. You got Portland, Oregon. Where is Portland? Who even goes there? There's going to be nowhere, guys. And you got Sacramento, California. She doing yoga over there. You're going to have nowhere to go. You're going to have nowhere to go. You got Charleston, North Carolina. The home prices have increased 77%. All right? You got Asheville, North Carolina, where the home prices has increased 88%. You got Washington, D.C., where the home prices increased 228%. This is not even a real, number. You can't even imagine that. You got Portland, Oregon, and these are all the poorest areas. These are all the poorest areas, and people can't do anything because they don't own it. They don't own it. So you can't come out there swinging saying, yo, this is my area. You got to own that shit, son. You got to get that money out. You can't be like, this is my hood. Pay for it. Then no one can bother your hood, son. So this is where we're going to go. All right. So we're going to get off of that. So these NYC. So I'm from NYC. And NYC is incredible because I'm about 38 years old. And when I grew up in Bushwick, Bushwick was a piece of shit. I grew up, I'm Bushwick. Okay? Bushwick. Between Decatur and Schaefer, the hood. If I go to Bushwick, all them hood cats know me. I grew up there. I was there for most of my life until I got to what? Age 14, 15, and we moved out of the hood. But right now, the average bedroom in Bushwick is 3,000. When I was 19, 18, one bedroom was $600. That's a ridiculous increase. But let's take a look at the areas in New York. Because New York got hit hard. All right? New York was already expensive, and New York got hit hard. So look at that. Harlem, which is supposed to be the black Manhattan, gone. Williamsburg, East Williamsburg, used to be the worst slums in the ghettos after the big fires, gone. Greenpoint, Brooklyn, gone. Bed-Stuy, Crown Heights, gone. Bushwick, my hometown, gone. Harlem, gone. Bushwick again, gone. These are areas that used to be safe havens for the hood, all gone. We're talking about prices quadrupled, literally overnight. So let's go to the next one. All right. So Connie, what are we gonna do? Guys, get into real estate. My ladies, my hatties. That's what my page is about. I got 2 girls that I help get into real estate as I'm talking to you. That's what I do. So if you're serious, if you're listening to this video and Hatshepsut Life, bless you. Remember, my page is $10 a month, $10 to join. I'm going to start screening through this page to make sure members are paying, because it's not fair that most members pay and a few don't. If you don't want to be on the page, God bless you and go on your way. But the information on the page is priceless. It can change your life. This is not about, oh, I like that. No, this is serious shit. This is like opening the Wall Street Journal and getting the information you need and changing your life. Think about your future. Think about your kid's future, your son's future, your daughter's future, your future. This is real shit. This is not no drama. This is not no gossip. This is not Kim Kardashian. This is not Chloe and her man cheating on her. We're not talking about that. We're talking about things that can impact your life. You need a place to live. Chloe don't. You need a place to live. Kim Kardashian don't. You need a place to live. Kanye and Beyonce don't. They good, son. This is for us, and you can get there. So let me tell you some of the good news. All right, you have top 8 owned, black owned real estate company making billions. Look at these brothers here. They're making billions. And here are the companies: the Pebbles Corporation, the Capri Capital Corporation. This guy, he has offices in Miami, Las Vegas, Washington, D.C., and he's the most successful black-owned real estate business in U.S. Go join that dude, son. Find where he at. Go, go, go. Capri Capital Partners. This guy has $2.7 billion in real estate assets. That's crazy. The company has a net worth, this one, H.J. Russell, of $200 million. That's crazy. You got McFarland Partners, the leading black-owned real estate investment management company, and it has $2.2 billion in investor equity and $6 billion in managed properties. Okay, you got Omni New York LLC. This company now owns 4,461 units of housing. This is like, you need to go out there. And you got Emmett Smith Enterprise, 100% minority owned. You got Integrated Capital LLC, $285 million. It's a leading hotel-focused private real estate investment firm. We're out there doing this, guys. But we can't do it by ourselves. I can't just say whatever. You have to be willing to go out there and network. Guess who's Connie networking? I'm not saying nothing. So y'all could waste your time or learn how to breathe in space, learn how to live in Mars. Get your coat, because I heard Pluto's kind of cold. Y'all can do all that because I'm trying to help you guys, and I know you can do it. It can be done. There's nothing special about these brothers. One of them even light skin. You know what I'm saying? I like to do my light skin jokes. But anyway, it's just nothing special. Is that they had an ambition, they had a goal. To get a real estate license, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks, a couple of hours. You don't need a degree. Go get your money. Go get your money. This is not a joke anymore. This is real shit. All right, so there's more wealthy black people in real estate. You got this right here. It says 9 African American commercial real estate titans. Commercial real estate is boss. So commercial real estate means malls. Commercial real estate means hospitals. Commercial real estate means hotels. Commercial real estate means, shopping centers, stores, stuff like that. And these guys are worth money. The first guy on the list, 700 million plus. And he light skinned. I'm gonna stop clowning light skinned brothers. I'm sorry. But Bob Johnson, he's worth 550 million. Okay? Then you got this sister right here, my beautiful sister, Sheila Johnson. She's worth 700 million. They're all in real estate. Okay, I'm gonna skip Magic Johnson because he don't count. And you got Quentin Primo, he's worth 300 million. Okay? You got this brother right here, Kenneth Fern, worth 285 million. You got Victor McFarlane. They won't even talk about his net worth, but he said he might be worth under 20 billion. So I'm telling you, y'all need to know that these opportunities are out there. And that's why I made Hatshepsut Life. That's why I made that page. Because I am dedicated to your success. I'm dedicated to, even when my page is down, even when I'm not around anymore, 10 years from now, you can say, well, I used to work with Connie and now I have real estate, or I used to work with Connie, now I do medical sales. I used to work with Connie, now I know about investing in stocks. That's the whole point. And if you just look at this page and turn into a lightgasm, like I said, I'm not into lightgasms. Ooh, I like that. I like that. I want you to get engaged. I want you to get aggressive. I want your success as bad as you want to breathe. I want you to want your success passionately. And that's when it's going to happen, when you give yourself no choice, when you're so focused. So look at this. I told y'all I was going to help you. I told y'all, look at this. This is Buy the Block, the first Black-owned real estate crowd investing platform. It's on its way to raising millions of dollars in funding for property. So this system made something called Buy the Block. So basically, Black people are pooling their money together. Sisters rock. That's why I love Black women. No matter what, we rock. Who else is telling you about this? I want to know who else is telling you about real shit. Not drama, not Kermit, not Chloe, not Rihanna and Chris Brown. They good. Who else is telling you about this? Who else is telling you that is a Black woman who is the CEO of Buy the Block, where you can put your money together? Okay? Put your money together and you can invest and helping people buy a piece of their first block. So it's right here. I've been a fan for a long time, and it's called Buy the Block, where Black people are getting together and pooling their money. This is what Jewish people do. Okay, the page isn't working. Of course it's not. This is what other people do. Okay, so this is really important, where you're pooling people together. It's called crowd investing. You get 7 people together. You run their background. You get a lawyer. Everybody get a lawyer. It's all nonprofit. You get your stuff together. Y'all buy a family house. Y'all buy a 2-family house. These things are happening. But you're not going to know about it. You're not going to know about it if you're not listening to the right people. If you're not aggressive and connecting and networking to the right people. Y'all could talk about fashion and hair and makeup and nails. I love that shit too. But 85% of your daily intake, especially on social media, should be about personal growth, personal development, positivity. Not negative stuff. Your time is precious. Don't wait till you get your first gray hair and you freak out. Or don't think that because you do got gray hair, your life is over. Your life just started. If you're breathing, your life just started. It's never too late. Never too late. So that's exciting for me. Look up Buy the Block. Buy the Block. This sister right here. Buy the Block. All right. And now you have, what happened to this page? Well, this page was showing you, Black women that are successful in real estate. Try to get to the next one. Let me get to, give me a second, guys. All right. So it's going to show you African American women in real estate. All right. So they was making so much money, the page couldn't load. Look at that. So you got this sister right here. Okay. And she is making money in real estate, and she's giving you advice how to get into the market. So look at this beautiful sister. She's doing it. So get motivated, guys. Get motivated. You really have to be invested in your success. It don't matter what I say, what I do. I can give you the Golden Bible. I can give you the Quran. I can give you the Torah. It don't matter. If you are not invested in your success, if you're not invested in selling, real estate, generational wealth, if you're not invested, then it doesn't matter what you do. If you don't know how to pass down generational wealth, how to pass down legacy, if you don't understand that your children not supposed to be working 10 times hard. That's what the American people put in your head, so you can work hard, so their children don't have to work. Because they thinking about their fourth, fifth generation. They securing the future, 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 future. Meanwhile, they tell you, oh, your kids got to work just as hard as you. That is not what the rich 1% do. They want their kids to understand money, respect money, know the business, know the mechanics, but they're not trying to make their kids work like you make your kids work. Oh, I worked hard, you got to work too. It's not about that. It's about passing generational wealth. You can't get mad and say, oh, discrimination, racism, because it's there. It's there. Oh, don't believe me. But you can't get mad if you're not doing what you got to do to rise above. Hispanic people, I'm sorry, they come with a language barrier. They have a lot of opportunities, a lot of challenges, and they own more homes. So they're doing something to give them the edge. They're still far behind. They're in the 50s. We in the 30s. So even though they have opportunity, they're closing that financial gap mad aggressive because they into entrepreneurship. They don't have a lot of broken marriages and stuff like we do. They're not perfect, but they just got here, son. They're not like us. We've been here for way back since colonial times. And we had a lot of slavery. We had all the discrimination, segregation. But what's crazy is that we're going backwards. Home ownership was higher during civil rights. How the hell did that happen? Marriage was higher during the civil rights. How the hell did that happen? If you're talking about incarceration and discrimination and stuff that tore families apart, y'all might want to watch I Am Not Your Negro and see how life was back then. And people were still building Black Wall Street. So there's no more excuses. We know the challenges, identify the challenges, and conquer it. You got the sister here making money. You can do it. So if you're serious, look in the description box. I got 2 pages. Hatshepsut Economics is just news. It's financial news for women of color, for African American Black women. Then I got Hatshepsut Life, which is more about your personal goals, your personal achievements, your personal finances. These are things that are going to impact you for years later. You want to get married? Increase your economics. You want to lose weight? Increase your economics. You want mental health? Increase your economics. You need money to do everything. Before you could do anything, before you can get on that locomotive and take a Paris ride, you need money. You can't avoid it. You're going to need money. And that's what my page teaches you, how to build money, how to invest money, and how to grow that money. And if you're interested, join the page. Like again, it's $10 to join, $10 a month. And it's going to be one of the best decisions you made. I'm so proud of the advances, of the people who have seen progress, the people who went on interviews, getting jobs, starting companies. I'm so proud. And I'm honored to be part of that success. And guys, if you have questions about real estate, let me know. I'm more than happy to help you. I'll even try to get you in. That's what I do. And that's it. So thank you guys for listening. Blessings, peace, love, and don't forget to like and subscribe and look at the description box for Hatshepsut Life. Thank you.